Hey everyone, welcome to Watches with Dennis, and today I want to talk about why I think Tudor should release in 2021 a new version of the North Flag. So, the North Flag is a watch that came out in 2015. It was one of their first watches to feature their, at the time, new in house movement, and it is based off of the Ranger 2 from Tudor in the 1970s. But I would say, in terms of where it kind of occupies their catalog, I think of it very much as a Rolex Explorer 1. So, but it's got differences. And as we like to see a lot from Tudor, they try to do their own thing. And this is something I think was very forward facing for them versus the Black Bays, which I like the Black Bays, but it's nice to see something from them that isn't a heritage model. However, as I've heard repeatedly, the North Flag has not sold well. And so, even though it's only been out for about 6 years, I would say it's time for a refresh. Now, in my opinion, you have one of two options that Tudor could take with trying to reinvigorate the North Flag. You either pull a Rolex maneuver, double down on the Explorer styling, and try and give it a more classical feel and look that will appeal to more people, or you go that more tool watch aesthetic and say, okay, no, this is going to look modern. This is going to look different. This is going to look like something you wear when you are out in the field, not something that you would put on with a sports coat. And currently, that's sort of where it's at. I don't think that with the yellow highlighting and such, I don't think this watch works very well in dressy situations. I think it screams that it has to be outdoors and that it looks weird if you were to try and wear it in an office environment, for example. In a way, I think if they go more Explorer style, they'd sell more. But I personally would like to see them actually take it the other direction. Continue it as a modern outdoors style watch. So what do I think doesn't work? Why do I think it doesn't sell well? And I think the main thing is the yellow aesthetic. And if I were to target anything in particular, it's the Power Reserve. Whenever I see this watch, the Power Reserve is always what jumps out to me, and it always makes me think I'm looking at a toy. And I think it has to do with that instead of having an applied pointer, it's the spinning dial. The finishing with it makes it doesn't look that great. It doesn't look awful, but it's pointing at those yellow power indicators. And so it's like a Happy Meal thing. It's unfortunate because the watch, all the reviews I have read on the watch have been very positive about how it's constructed. Not always the best on the finishing, but we have to bear in mind that this is a watch that costs retails over $3,000. So it really should be top tier in a lot of ways. We should be getting a lot out of it for what it is. And functionally, I think it is really good. It has a date indicator, which I like. It's subtle. It doesn't have a cyclops like we would see with Rolex, which I think will appeal to a lot of people, and a little more symmetry. You've got the big 12 and the big 6. It has a 70-hour Power Reserve. I would almost get rid of the Power Reserve entirely on a redesign, or maybe move it to somewhere else where it's not taking up as much space, and maybe we get another Arabic numeral over there at the 9. Another idea would be just to redesign the Power Reserve so that it maybe had an actual hand that was pointing. You could still keep mounted on the spinning disc or something, but just so it looked a little more professional, a little more polished. The case shape's pretty unique. I think you can get away with keeping the style that they have, this sort of, I guess I've seen it described as slab-sided case. I think you could keep the slab-sided case, and I think you could keep the bracelet approach. The bracelet overall has reviewed fairly well for a Tudor bracelet. And I think you could stick with that. But, going more in the tool watch fashion, I would get rid of the sapphire case back. I get it at the time. I think they were driven by, we haven't done an in-house movement before, so let's show it off. Except it's not really decorated. So I don't get it. Why are we showing off an in-house movement if you're not going to put in the effort to actually decorate it with any degree? And at this price point, I don't think they plan to. And I wouldn't want them to raise the price on this watch. So given that, I think it should just be a stainless steel caseback and just be done with it again, like we see them do with a number of their other watches at this point. There's no reason to show off this movement. So, go more tool watch and get rid of the sapphire caseback. I don't think that's really going to sell a lot more units, but I think it would fit the idea that it's a hardy watch that you're supposed to be wearing to do stuff in, not something that you take it off while you're sitting at your desk and admire the Spartan design of the movement. So the other thing I would say is the yellow. I think you can keep it, but I think there should be, like, the catalog should expand. Just a lot of people aren't going to think that yellow color is going to go with a lot. It's fine if you're wearing your parka and you're going outside, but again, I think maybe something like orange, reds. There are other colors that people are more comfortable with that would look good on this watch, to have the second hand stand out, to have the power reserve, if we're keeping it, changing that up. I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that the North Flag is expected to get a redesign in 2021, but I am hopeful that it will see one. But what are your all thoughts on this? Do you like the North Flag at all? Do you want to see it redesigned? Would you rather it stay as it is? Do you have a different idea? Would you prefer it to go in the direction of the Rolex Explorer and try and dress it up more rather than make it more of a tool watch, and see if that people who are in business will want to wear it, not just people who are going outside? Comment below. I'd love to read your thoughts. And other than that, I will say, if you enjoy this video and you want to find out when more videos are coming out, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. And I'll talk to you next time. Take care.